Today I will answer your questions. But first of all, jag vill tacka alla er för att ni följer oss. I want to thank all of you for following us and for leaving comments, questions and likes. It gives us ideas for future videos and most importantly, it keeps us motivated to continue making videos for you. Sometimes a video of just 10 minutes actually took 10 hours to make, including research, script, filming, and editing. A lot of work behind, so knowing that you appreciate them makes it all worth it. Sometimes we don't have time to answer all your comments. Sorry about that, but we will do our best. And I will start doing some videos like this one today, where I will be answering many of them at the same time. Hopefully this way you will get an answer to your question and the rest can also learn a lot from them. Okej, låt oss köra igång. Let us start. I will be answering 10 questions and promise me that you will try to stay until the end because it will include an osthyvel and a funny hate comment. Question number 1. Are å and o different? Ja, yes, they are. They are different letters in the Swedish alphabet and they are pronounced differently. Å, with this little circle on the top, is kind of a mix between the letter a and the letter o. And it's pronounced like this. Å. Oh, you kind of need to look like this when you pronounce it. And then we have the letter O. And when you say this, on the other hand, you need to look more like this. O. It's very important that you form a circle or an O with your lips when you say it. O. Let's compare these two letters again. O, 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 O. And now let's say it in two different words. Bor, 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 bor. If you want to know more about these two letters, then you can check out these two videos. Å, O. Question number 2. And this is a personal question. Bra jobbat Daniela. Jobbar du på SFI som lärare? This was written in very good Swedish, so well done. So to answer your question, nej, det gör jag inte. No, I don't. I'm not an SFI teacher, but I have been teaching languages since I was 18. I'm also the co-founder of a language school called Enjoy Learning and Never Stop, but we're more famous as Fun Swedish. We actually started by teaching Spanish for Swedes. We even had a Spanish version of Fun Swedish called Kul Spanska. But we decided to pause the Spanish lessons and switch to Swedish instead, because we felt that there wasn't a lot of fun Swedish out there. And nowadays, we provide Swedish courses for companies and individuals. And we have students all around the world taking our Swedish courses, which is a lot of fun. So if you want to join our courses or just get more information about them, then you can check out this link. But to answer your question again, we at Fun Swedish actually did a collaboration with an SFI school. We were invited by these awesome SFI students and this awesome SFI teacher to hold a lesson about pronunciation. Maybe we can do it again if you want us to come to your SFI school. Maybe you can leave a comment below if you would like that. And talking about liking, here comes our next question. Number 3. How to say I love you in Swedish. This is a very important phrase to know. I know that in certain languages, like Spanish, you have like 2 or 3 different ways to say I love you. For example, you maybe have one that is more for friends and one that is more for your special one. But not in Swedish. We just have one way. Jag älskar dig. And you would use this phrase both to your special one, your friends and your parents, if you love them. Let's say it again. Jag älskar dig. What do you think? Does it sound romantic? I personally prefer how you say it in other languages, like je t'aime or te amo or ti amo. I don't know, just for me, but maybe you like the Swedish way. Jag älskar dig. Let's leave all the loving behind and let's go to our next question. Number 4. What is the difference between klar, färdig and redo? For example, jag är klar, jag är färdig, and jag är redo. If you look at any online dictionary, you might see that both klar and färdig can mean the same thing. Ready, completed, or finished. For example, jag är färdig med mina studier. I have completed or I have finished my studies. But you can also say jag är klar med mina studier. I have finished or completed my studies. So in some situations, like this one, you can use any of them. But there's some situations where you can't replace them. It just doesn't work. Like in some fixed expression or compound words. For example, färdiglagad mat, which can be translated to ready-made meal, like a frozen pizza, for example. But there's no such thing as klarlagad mat. No, that would just sound weird. So here you can't change it to klar. Only färdig works here. And then there are some situations or sentences that if you change these words, it works, but it changes a little bit the feeling to what you're saying. Let's look at an example. Jag är klar, which means I'm done, I'm finished. This is very useful if you want to say that you have finished a task at work or your Swedish exercises when you sit in Swedish class. But if you say jag är färdig, it also means I'm done, but this expression brings out a completely different feel to it. When hearing jag är färdig, most Swedes would think of an infant, not fully potty trained, calling for assistance. In essence, come and clean me up. I'm done pooping. So this is what most Swedes associate with this phrase. So if you just want to say I'm done and nothing else after, then you should use jag är klar, especially at work. And then we have the last word, redo. Jag är redo. Just so you know, redo doesn't mean redo in Swedish. Redo is our word for ready, like I'm ready. Jag är redo. For example, jag är redo att gå. I'm ready to leave or I'm ready to go. Or jag är redo för nästa fråga. I'm ready or prepared for the next question. Number 5. Your next question was this one. What is the difference between att studera and att plugga? Please. Well, the answer is very simple. Both means to study, and you can use both. But plugga is a little bit more slang or more used in spoken Swedish. So you're gonna hear this a lot. So I really recommend you to learn plugga. But again, you can say both. Either jag studerar svenska or jag pluggar svenska. Learn both. Next question, number 6. A question we get asked very often from you. And I understand why, because it is a little bit confusing. What is the difference between tycka om and gillar? Well, both means like, to like something. And they can normally be used interchangeably. For example, jag gillar godis. I like candy. Or jag tycker om godis. I like candy. And you might see Swedes use both of them. And this is because you can use both of them. Some people use more gillar, some people use more tycker om, some people mix. So you can do the same. The difference might just be a grammatical thing. So tycker om is what we call a partikelverb. I think you call it a phrasal verb in English, which is basically a special construction where you have a verb that can mean something, but then you add a preposition to it and it can change the meaning a little bit, like in this case. Because tycker is how we say I think, like when you have an opinion. But if you add the om to the tycker here, it means to like. So that's why the construction is a bit different from gilla, which is just one word to say like. So again, it's a little bit the grammatical thing that makes these two different, but they can be used in the same way. I personally use a little bit more gillar just because it's shorter, and also because when you say tycker om, you really need to put the stress on the om. So you need to say jag tycker om godis instead of jag tycker om godis. You need to put the stress on the om, which all makes it a little bit more complicated. That's why I prefer to just say gillar. But again, like most Swedes, we use both. And then if you want to say to a Swede, you can also use both. Either jag gillar dig or jag tycker om dig. When I hear this, I might think that jag tycker om dig feels a little bit more serious, like I like you. But again, it can all depend about the intonation, the situation, and who you talk to. But both are used as I like you. Now, let's move on to our next question. Number 7. A question about Swedish behavior. Is it true that Swedes eat tacos on Fridays? Yes. Maybe not every Friday, but tacos is definitely one of the most popular meals to eat during our fredagsmys. And the Swedish tacos are of course not like the Mexican tacos. We make our own version of it. And a Swedish taco normally include any of these ingredients. Tacoskal, or tortillas, nötfärs eller blandfärs, gurka, majs, tomat, guacamole, the Swedish way of pronouncing this, rödlök, ost, gräddfil, and also salad. They can depend a bit on the person, but in general this is what we like to eat together with our Swedish tacos. Have you ever tried Swedish tacos? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm especially curious to hear what our Mexican followers think about the Swedish tacos. Next question, number 8. Is it true that the salted black licorice is the most popular candy in Sweden? No, it's actually not the most popular one. According to some sources, the most popular one would be this chocolate called Center. However, it is true that we eat a lot of black licorice, or what I call in my dialect, lakrits. And I'm sure that Sweden, and in particular Finland, are the two countries where we eat the most lakrits in the world. So yeah, it is a big thing here. Have you ever tried lakrits? Well, if you haven't, be very careful with the really salty one, especially this one called djungelvrål. Some non-Swedes wouldn't even call it candy.
You make me sick. You disgust me.
Now we have come to question number 9. Another question about Swedish behavior. Is it true that people in Göteborg call Stockholmers nollottor, the 08 dialing code, to make fun of them? And as a Stockholmer, I can confirm, yes, this is true. Especially if you grew up having these kind of phones. I think you call it a landline in English, which was very common before using cell phones. Back in the old days, when you called someone from a landline, you could know what area in Sweden they call you from by the first digits. People like me that came from the Stockholm region had this combination 08 as the regional code. Therefore, 08, or in plural, nollottor, has become a slang to refer to people from Stockholm. But it's used a little bit negatively to talk about Stockholmers. I actually didn't know that Stockholmers like me were called like this until I was 12 years old and my family moved to a city called Örebro. On the first day at school, my classmates started screaming, "Där kommer 08," which basically means there comes the Stockholmer. So that day I learned the true meaning of 08. Luckily, the Örebro people were very nice to me in the end. I lived there for 1 year before moving back to Stockholm, but actually did love my time there. It gave me some perspective and I learned a lot, like how it is to be en bonde. Just kidding. I honestly learned that Sweden is more than just Stockholm. So if you come to Sweden one day, try to visit more places than just Stockholm, where all the nollottor are. Now we have come to our last question, number 10. And this is actually not a question, more of a request. Can you show us how to use en osthyvel? Okej, visst. Så här gör man. Very important to not do en skidbacke when you use the osthyvel on the cheese, because this can upset a lot of Swedes. So as long as you don't do that, you will be fine. I also have some bonus comments. This was perhaps a weird comment that I got once when I did this video about Swedish personal pronouns. Great video. Just a small suggestion. The hairstyle is quite not natural. Not sure if this person is talking about personal pronouns or me, about my hair color or my hairstyle, but I just want to confirm that my hair is natural. Jag är rödhårig. I am red hairy. A word to say that someone has red hair or is a ginger. And talking about red hair, I also want to share with you this comment that actually made my day. I wish I could read this with an Irish accent. As an Irishman who is still not forgiving the Vikings 1200 years ago for their plunder, I always felt compelled to conquer the blonde country. Yet your videos, red hair, and great sense of humor resonates too much with me. I just want to say this. Aw, what a compliment. And sorry for all the plunder that my Viking ancestors did in Ireland. I'm happy to hear that you can still watch our videos. Now, my dear followers, please write more questions and comments down below so we can make a part 2 and I can answer all your questions. The questions can be about grammar, vocab, pronunciation, weird Swedish behavior, or about our Swedish courses, or if you want to ask me something personally. Whatever you're curious about. So, hope to see a lot of comments down below. Me and my fun Swedish team look forward reading them. Och tack för att ni är världens bästa följare. Hej då!